Hi everyone, I'm Polly and this is Every Trick on the Hook. In this video we will be learning how to make the puff stitch and a beginning puff stitch. A puff stitch is a really simple stitch, but it can be a little tricky to execute. I'll show you real fast. It's a yarn over, insert your hook in the indicated stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop 4 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, followed by yarn over and pull through all 9 loops on your hook. It's simple enough, but there are some pitfalls, and one of those is when your hook gets caught on these loops. It can be really easy to pull an extra loop through or pull just one of these little threads through, and you get stuck. You'll feel your hook just gets tight and won't pull through all the way. In that case, your best bet is to reverse or just start all the way over. One of the ways to avoid it is to sort of wiggle your hook a little as you pull through. After you've made your puff stitch, close it with a chain 1. Now, not everyone's patterns close their puff stitch with a chain 1, but I have standardized the puff stitch in all of my patterns. It will always close with a chain 1, regardless of whether or not that actually comes into play in the pattern. And that's really just for the sake of consistency. But see how it makes this little eye at the top of your puff? Sometimes that comes into play and becomes a design element. So let's look at that again. You yarn over, insert your hook once. Now here's another trick that I like to do when I'm making a puff stitch. You could pull your yarn real tight and make your puffs like that. And it can work, but it's really difficult to pull your hook through when the 9 loops on your hook are snug to your hook. So what I like to do is yarn over, pull my loop through, and pull it just about the height of a double crochet, maybe a little lower. So it's not really loose, it's just a little bit loose. I yarn over 2, yarn over 3, yarn over 4. Now, see, my loops are just a little bit loose. I can wiggle them around on my hook. If your loops are really tight, it's going to be really hard to pull your hook through all 9 of them together and not catch on threads or full loops of yarn. So yarn over and pull it through all 9 loops, wiggle it a little if you need it, and then chain 1 to close. Now when you're closing a loop of puff stitches, you can slip stitch into that eye of the puff stitch to close. Oops. And that is a round of puff stitches. Next I'm going to show you how to make a beginning puff stitch. That is this right here. So we'll start with an empty piece and just a slip stitch on our hook. And this works for either continuing with the same color or starting with a new color. You would slip stitch into the space that you want your puff stitch to go, just like so. And now the loop that's on your hook, you just draw that up about the height of a double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop 4 times just like a regular puff stitch. So the only real difference was that first loop that we drew up to about the height of a double crochet. And you'll still have 9 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yarn over and pull through. Chain 1 to close. And that is your beginning puff stitch. That's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Every Trick on the Hook.